This story from a newspaper called the Ventura County Star. Ventura is northwest of Los Angeles. And for those of you who like to refer to Los Angeles as the coast, downtown L.A. is 20 miles east of the coastline. So there is stuff that is west and northwest of Los Angeles. People who live in SoCal mostly know that, but people love referring to L.A. as the coast. Anyway, this story from the Ventura County Star, Ventura, northwest of Los Angeles. Dateline, Sacramento. Naomi Tomasetti, a former welfare recipient who now works part-time at Oxnard College, pays about $100 a month out of pocket for the state-subsidized child care that allows her to hold a job and to be assured that her 9-year-old child and 4-year-old child, 4-year-old twins are looked after while she's gone. Under Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's proposed budget cuts, her share of the costs, called a family fee, would go up at least 25%. So you understand, she's paying $100 a month for child care. She'd be paying $125. Just take care of 3 children. $8 per child per month. Ooh. The way she figures it, after rent and child care, that would leave her with about $300 a month to pay for food, clothing, and everyday household expenses. I'd pretty much be starting from zero again, she said. Can I tell you something, sweetheart? You should have thought of that before. A, you opened your legs. B, you opened your legs without birth control. C, you started pumping out children. D, after getting knocked up, you didn't have an abortion. Okay? Should have thought of that. I know it's un-American or unromantic to have to think ahead, but you know what? That's what you should have done, and you didn't do it. Why should we reward you in any way? Says here, Tomasetti was among about 600 child care advocates who rallied at the California state capitol urging the legislature to restore the $165 million $165 million? Just for California? $165 million in child care funding cuts proposed by Schwarzenegger. If the cuts are implemented, they argued, the result will be to drive working mothers back on state assistance and to increase the number of latchkey children who will have no supervision after school. Like putting them in state-sponsored child care is any better. Jesus. It's going to put families back on cash assistance, said Ruth Bowman of Ventura, a county social worker who serves on the Child Care Planning Council of Ventura County. Our CalWorks families are fragile enough. Says here, subsidized child care was a major component of the welfare to work reforms enacted in the late 1990s. It is provided in 3 stages designed to transition recipients back into the workforce. The state, now get this, the state now spends about 1.4, this is California. We're not talking about the federal government, it's California. Now spends about $1.4 billion a year on child care. This is something called CalWorks Child Care, which enrolls almost 250,000 kids. 250,000. Jesus. Says here, the administration's January budget plan, which will be updated next week, proposes to lower income eligibility requirements, eliminate child care for 11 and 12-year-olds who live in areas where after-school programs are offered, cut reimbursement rates to child care providers, and increase the fees paid by families that earn more than $18,768 a year. How they came up with that number, I have no idea. Says here the proposals are based in part on an audit led by Finance Director Donna Arduin. Among the audit's findings was that California now requires lower co-payments than any other large state. Personal responsibility is prompted by lowering the income threshold when families are asked to share in the cost of child care, the audit says. This would remove 20,000 people from subsidized child care programs, Fee increases would affect 77,250 kids. Advocates say that services for another 95,000 kids would be imperiled because providers hit by reductions in state reimbursements would require parents to make up the difference. Assemblywoman Wilma Chan, Democrat of Oakland, the cradle of Ebonics, said one of the most fundamental things we as mothers need to go to... What? One of the most fundamental schools we as mothers need to go to school. They left out a word. And to hold a job is to know that our kids will be taken care of during the day. We're not going to stand for these kinds of cuts that are going to affect us, our children, and our families. You know what? I don't feel sorry for these chicks and their bastard children at all. At all. In fact, you know what I'd be in favor of? Take the money we're saving on this. Provide birth control pills, Norplant, IUDs, sponges, diaphragms, cervical caps, Depo-Provera shots, and abortions. Free. Free. Which would save us a hell of a lot of money and a hell of a lot of complications, a hell of a lot of trouble, a hell of a lot of paperwork. Why are we making it easier for these sluts to give birth to more bastard children? I don't understand it. Why do we kowtow to people like that? I don't understand it. Not in California, not anywhere. It doesn't make sense. I'll tell you what, before you get any child care, it should be proven that you had your kids while you were married. It should be proven that you had your kids when you were able to afford them and some tragedy befell you. Like your husband got hit by a bus. Okay, we'll help you. Like your husband died prematurely. Okay, we'll help you. Like your husband left you for another woman and you had no idea it was happening. Bam, you're just surprised by the whole thing and there you are left with kids. All right, we'll help you. But all you little sluts out there who just keep acting like human Xerox machines and cranking out new copies of your ignorant asses, I don't think we should be helping you with child care or anything else at all. For you, free abortions, free birth control. Doesn't that only make sense?
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-TOM.
Tom Leykis.
1-800-5800-866.
The only way to date nice guys all along are women who are not that attractive or are kind of chunky.
Yeah, but I date a nice guy.
You're probably kind of chunky.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
On Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Let's say hello here to Aaron on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, I actually sent you that article.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, I did. For two reasons. One, if $25 a month is going to make this girl go broke, someone needs to take her kids away from her. If she cannot afford them, she should not have them. And if $25 a month is going to make or break her, she doesn't deserve to have those kids.
One day I need to talk to women who say they can't afford their children and find out why they had them in the first place.
You know what? You know how much we pay for child care in our household? $600 for one child, and no one helps us out. No one.
Right. And if it went up $25 a month, that would not break you.
No, it would not. It went up $100 a month. It did not break us. But $25, someone needs to take those kids away. And why did she not learn about birth control the first time she got pregnant?
Wouldn't you love to know? I'd love to know.
I would love to know. Hey, Tom.
Yes, Aaron.
How about a crack on the ass with a gracias?
I got one for you. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Gracias.
1-800-5800-TOM. This is Joel on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
All right, Joel.
I'm on a cell phone, so hopefully I'll be able to hang with you. But Aaron just resonated exactly what I was going to say. If $25 makes or breaks this girl, then she probably needs to, cut out the bonbons or the cigarettes or something. I'm tired.
Cigarettes or the tattoo artist or whatever else she's got.
Whatever. I mean, I'm tired of paying for these special interest groups and people not being accountable for their problems. I'm tired of it. This is why the state's in the problems that it's in right now.
No doubt about it.
It's travesty. And again, it's $25 a month.
Right.
She didn't think about this before she spread her legs? Come on.
Oh, well, since when do women think ahead?
Obviously, another fine example of one that didn't think ahead at least twice. How many kids? 2 kids? 3 kids?
She has 3. 2 are twins.
There we go.
Yep, your tax dollars at work, baby.
I said my piece. Take me out with a bong hit there, Tom.
Here it comes. Jessica on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. You're the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think that people are starting to multiply like gremlins, and it's just not kosher. Like, who's supposed to pay for this? Where is this imaginary money supposed to come from?
You.
Well, I didn't have any kids. I'm 24. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to not have kids at 24, guys. Everybody. Just to let you know.
I don't understand the reason to have kids if you can't afford them. I can't understand what reason there would be.
I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I do have my fair share of sex, and I don't have any kids. I've never been pregnant.
Hey.
It is possible.
I'm twice your age, and I don't have any kids. You know, it's amazing how some people just keep making the same mistake over and over, and some people never make it.
It's insanity. Total insanity. Take me out old school.
Here you go, Jessica. 1-800-5800-TOM. Teresa on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom.
Teresa.
Hey, I was listening to your show. I was just leaving work. I work at a children's hospital. And every single day I see mothers coming in with 3 and 4 and 5 kids who don't work. And then I look at my paycheck and see how much of my money goes to support them and pay for their tests and the whole reason they're in the hospital. It just burns me, Tom, every day.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard from anybody who's in favor. I haven't heard from any of the people who need this money. Isn't it interesting they're not even calling in?
Well, of course not. But I work hard for my money every day, as everybody else does, and it just burns my butt that it goes to pay for people who aren't working, or if they work, they only have to pay $100 a month for child care.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
You're right.
I just wanted to call you up, Tom, because I think you're the best, and I'm on your side. And I am an educated woman who actually reads the paper.
Wow, how'd that happen?
I don't know.
Thank you, Teresa.
Great talking to you.
Thank you. Matthew on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello there, Tom.
Hello, Matthew.
How are you doing?
Do you care, Matthew?
Yes, I do, sir.
Doing great.
Okay, I'm one of the workers that work for this whole department, and I believe that this is giving away free money.
Oh, no doubt that's what it is.
That's what it is. You can't even go to the bank and withdraw money, and you can go right here to any welfare building and get free money anytime.
How does that work?
Usually, there's so many people that I can understand if a woman, if she has one child and it was an accident, that you have 5 kids and that ain't no accident. You know that?
Yeah, you're just stupid.
Yeah, one, okay, I can understand that. Okay, we'll let it slide. 2, maybe that even, But I've had people that come in where they have like 13 children, the most, and each of them, the city takes them away, and then they come in, they're pregnant again.
It's unbelievable. They're just plain idiots is what they are. They're morons. They're retards. That's what they are.
Yes, they are, and they should, at least the governor or something, or they should change it where they should change the whole program.
Well, that's what they're trying to do right now. The governor of California is trying to do that right now.
Because all the people that are working for them, they're getting laid off, and all these people that are on welfare, they're never going to get off of welfare.
No doubt about it, Matthew. Thank you. Roger on the Tom Leykis Show.
What's up, Papi Perro? You are the king, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom, but I got to disagree, man.
Why?
I got to disagree because you don't know everyone's situation. Like you said, you never know if their husband might have gotten hurt or something like that. I just want to say to all those...
You know as well as I do that although there are cases like that, they're not the majority.
It's not the majority, but I'm still on all the single...
I said earlier, if you were listening to what I said, if your husband was hit by a bus, okay, let's talk. If your husband died of a brain tumor, okay. But, you know, if you started high school at 15 cranking out your first kid, and then at 17 you cranked out your second kid, and at 19 you cranked out the twins, you know what? We should not be encouraging that. There should be no daycare at high schools, and there should be no money for child care for people who keep pumping out children without having a real family structure. It just shouldn't, it shouldn't happen.
You're absolutely correct, Tom, but I'm here to support all the single mothers.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Because you want to nail them?
Of course, Tom.
I see.
They're the easiest to get in the sack.
Yeah, obviously. And then they keep cranking out kids. And then eventually you get that letter from the district attorney's office saying they want your paycheck.
Whoops. You're right, man. You're right, Tom. You're the king. I love you, man.
Thank you, Roger. Keith on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Keith.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you so much.
Hey, before these bitches get any money, you get their tubes tied. That solves the problem. No more kids.
Well, I believe me, I would most definitely be in favor of that, but the ACLU would have something to say about it. Yes, I agree. After the first kid, if you get your tubes tied, I'll tell you what, we'll pay you $10,000 to get your tubes tied. We'll pay the expense of getting your tubes tied, and then we'll put you on aid, because this is the last kid you're having.
That's right, and it's a Darwinian approach.
By the way, I go a step further. I believe in drug testing for these women, and if they're smoking cigarettes, no aid for them, because you don't want kids around cigarette smoking and secondhand smoke.
That's right.
Let's go down the list.
That's right.
If we're going to pay, we should be able to have an influence on what's going on in that house.
Totally. No more kids. All right, well, blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Keith. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Evan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Evan.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Okay.
You said that abortion and birth control should be free.
Free.
It is free here in Southern California.
It's free?
Yeah. I know of a girl who got an abortion for free. Didn't pay anything.
Yeah, but it's not subsidized by the state. It's probably Planned Parenthood or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's not the state of California.
I'm sorry, sir?
It's not the state of California that's doing it. I'm saying the state or the counties within the state should provide that for free.
I agree. I don't understand how hard is it to pop a pill every day at the same time.
Well, again, we're talking about young, moronic women. That's what we're talking about here. Our toll-free telephone number is 1-800-5800-TOM. More of your telephone calls coming up as we continue.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles to 1-800-5800-TOM. Yes, people in the state capital of California, Sacramento, protesting cuts in state-sponsored child care. Hey, who cares? We should cut it out, really cut it down to the bone. Limit it to people who really need it, and not people who just decide to start cranking out kids for no apparent reason, except that they're morons. Amy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
First-time caller.
Cool.
The lady who was on before had said, why aren't these people calling? And you had made that same statement, so here I am. I'll just tell you a little bit about my situation. I'm a single mother. I'm been divorced for about a year, and I get paid $300 a month child support from my ex-husband for 2 children, and I live in a pretty high cost of living state, and I don't rely on the government or any other means of support for myself or my kids. One of the big reasons is because they say that I make too much money. I probably profit $20,000 a year, and I resent the fact for these people who think that, that people like single mothers are trying to milk the government or whatever. There's people who are newly citizens of the United States who are getting more help than I do.
Well, you know what? I don't think most people believe that should be the case either.
I'm sorry?
I don't think most people believe that should be the case either.
Right. And maybe I'm a little bit bitter because my ex-husband got married a month after we were divorced to a girl, and they're in the military, and their mother is like a live-in nanny. She doesn't speak an ounce of English. She's a live-in nanny, and the government pays for her to be claimed as a dependent, and yet he doesn't want to help me, and nobody else wants to help me. Mm-hmm. But people like that can come into our country and be claimed as a dependent because one of their children is in the United States military, and they get free housing and medical attention.
Well, you know what? People in the military get a variety of benefits. That's the way it is.
Right.
And they're willing to take risks that you aren't.
Right.
And that's the benefits they get.
Right.
Well, I mean, what have you done to deserve getting child care from the state of Maryland? What have you done to deserve that?
Not necessarily. I don't think. Is this for people whose fathers are claiming that they're not the child's father, or that?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with who says they need child care assistance.
I think that would kind of be a bad idea. But I think that there's other ways to help people. Like they have voucher programs for daycares, as long as a daycare accepts the vouchers that the state gives.
Why should we be paying to take care of your children? I don't get it.
Well, it's a screwed up system. I mean, now I have to spend $2,000 just to speak to a lawyer to go back to court to fight my husband. Why aren't there better laws? For me, the money issue has to do with me getting a lawyer to go back to court to say, you know what, $300 a month for 2 kids is not worth it. I've always probably been in a situation to have received some kind of government or financial aid for something, whether it's an electrical financial aid or...
Why do you need so much financial aid? Why didn't you do this the right way in the first place? Go to school, get a career. Why did you start popping out kids?
If I had it to do all over again and I still could have my kids, I would.
Well, you know what? If you knew there was going to be no help for you, maybe you wouldn't have popped out those kids.
Exactly.
Maybe you'd have thought twice about it.
I probably would have.
You're now a heroin addict, essentially.
I'm not.
You knew in advance you needed money, right, and that you could depend on it if things went wrong, and so you were irresponsible with your life. And now we're supposed to bail you out. I don't want to bail you out.
No, I don't believe, that's what I'm saying. I've never got on any kind of programs or assistance from the government or my state that I live in. I think that there needs to be better judicial systems. That's what we need to put our money in. Put our money in for those kind of
I think we need to offer free birth control and free abortion to anyone who wants it.
I agree with that totally, too.
You know, instead of rewarding people for having children they can't afford to raise and can't spend the time to love, we should be subsidizing birth control and abortion.
And I totally agree with that. And I don't think that this child support is exactly the answer to everything. I don't think that is.
Well, of course it's not.
I think that society needs to teach fathers to be more responsible for what they are,
you could also pick better men.
Right.
Which is also your fault, and once again, you not taking responsibility. It's not a matter of teaching people to be more responsible. You need to be more responsible.
Right.
You need to.
Yeah, all the stuff you learn when you're older it's just a shame that you couldn't have that insight when you're younger.
Well, did you tell Dino that your ex-husband was abusive?
Yeah.
Why'd you marry an abusive guy?
He wasn't. It became a control factor after a while.
Oh, but there was no hint, sign, or clue that he could in any way be like that.
Yes.
I don't believe that for one minute.
No, I mean, yes, there was signs.
But you ignored them.
Right.
And proceeded to have children anyway.
That's correct.
So, again, does society need to teach men how to be more responsible or women?
Both.
All right, well, I'll buy in on that. But, most of the time it's women complaining about the deadbeat dads, just that term.
I mean, he's not a deadbeat dad. He sees his kids and he pays what he's supposed to. But that isn't what a person should pay for 2 kids. I know friends of mine who get paid like the other lady.
You said he pays what he's supposed to.
Yeah, what the courts say he's supposed to pay. Because... No. But that was based on we got to see each other. The kids got to see them half out of the month. Now he only sees them 4 days out of the month. So the rate should go up. But in order to get the rates to go up, you gotta retain a lawyer for $25,000, and then you gotta pay $225 an hour, and I mean, that's hard, especially when I don't expect any money from the government or the
But
state.
imagine if you'd chosen a more responsible individual. Imagine if you waited longer to get married. Imagine if you'd waited longer to have kids. Imagine if you had been more responsible, how much better your life would be.
No doubt.
And you wouldn't be here all bitter about him getting remarried and who he got remarried to and what's going on with him. And you wouldn't be worried about that.
Right.
So it's really your fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah, the Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Here's our telephone number. Tim, hello.
Tom, how's it going?
Good.
You know, I just was listening to that last caller, and you grilled her pretty hard. That was cool because she finally admitted that was her fault. But you know what? I don't really want my tax dollars going to pay for free abortions for people. I mean, maybe free birth control, yeah, but free birth control and free abortion wouldn't have stopped her from being in her situation, so she would still...
No, but it would stop many others.
Well, yeah, probably, but I don't want my taxes to pay for it. I'm 35.
So you'd rather your taxes pay for 18 years of welfare per child?
Well, unfortunately, neither that solution nor your solution would really stop much of it. So.
Well, we don't know. We haven't tried my solution.
I'm willing to give it a shot, but I just don't want to pay for it out of my... I don't want to pay for any of those things out of my taxes. You know, it's not my fault.
Well, again...
Kids they can't take care of.
Yeah, but you know, the way it works in this society is we have children who are growing up in bad homes.
Yeah.
Unwanted children, or children who women have no time to raise or spend...
Raised by bad parents.
Yeah, and then marrying bad men, and then complaining that the men are deadbeats. Blah, blah, blah.
That's right, man. I'm sick of it all. I'll tell you the truth. I haven't made any kids yet. I'm 35. By the way, I love your show.
Thank you so much.
Hey, blow me up.
Here you go. 1-800-5800-TOM. Here's our telephone number. Karen on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, you picked a subject that just burns me. I agree with you 100%. In the state of Washington, if you are on public assistance, it does pay for 100% of your birth control. It does pay 100% of abortions. I personally don't have that, although they said when I was 20 and 21 years old and was stupid enough to get pregnant, they said, well, you know, if you get on public assistance, we'll pay for the abortion. Well, of course, I didn't do that. I just scraped up the money and did it myself anyway. I waited until I was married and waited until after I was married to have a baby. So I am atypical, of course, for the Northwest.
Of course.
And, you know, there's people at my kids' child care that, you know, they poop out 2, 3, 4 kids. Public assistance pays for their child care. No one pays for my $600, $700 a month child care. Myself. If something happens, my husband and I don't work, nobody helps us out. They said, you know what, if you want to kick your husband out and quit your job, we'll be more than happy to help you out. But until then, forget it.
Unbelievable.
And the state of Washington also helps out for those dads out there, or excuse me, those girls out there on public assistance that the public assistance goes after the dad that isn't there. They send us a bill every month for a bad booty call that my husband had when he was 20. Every time she pops onto public assistance, we get a bill. And we have to pay her public assistance back.
Oh, my.
Besides the child support we fork out every month for that kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm in 100% agreement. You know, you said 250,000 kids in California on public assistance. That's 250,000 abortions.
Not even public assistance. Publicly funded child care.
It's ridiculous.
I don't even know how many are on public assistance. That's just child care. In fact, that would imply that a certain number of those women are actually like going to part-time jobs, and theoretically that's why they need child care. So these are not even the people on public assistance. This is strictly child care.
You know, maybe if they didn't have that to sit back on, they would not have gotten pregnant. And if they had gotten pregnant, maybe they wouldn't have carried through with the pregnancy, or they wouldn't have kept the baby.
I agree with you.
And thanks, Tom, for taking my call. Blow me up, please.
Here you go, Karen. 1-800-5800-TOM. Let's say hello here to Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi. I totally agree with the publicly funded birth control and everything else like that. But here's my question I pose to all the quote-unquote deadbeat dads out there. Why couldn't you bust out a condom? They give them out for free.
No doubt that they should bust out a condom. By the same token, though, even with or without wearing a condom, they are not the ones who decide whether a birth will happen. That decision is made by the woman.
This is true, but at the same time...
As you know, women have the quote-unquote right to choose.
Don't you know?
Men don't.
The girl that goes, oh, yeah, I'm on the pill. Well, honey, let me tell you something. People say that, and then they think, ooh, child support.
We tell that to men on this show all the time. I don't know if you're new to this show. We tell that to men all the time.
Exactly.
Never, ever believe a woman when she says, I'm on the pill. Never.
Yeah, unless you actually physically see them taking the pill.
Even then. Even then, you know what? You're not going to see them do it day after day after day. And, like, we have one guy who called this show yesterday who said that he opened his girlfriend's purse and saw the birth control pills and that she'd stopped taking them a week ago.
No. See, my husband used to be the one that would check in and be like, honey, I think you forgot to take a pill last night, and we don't want any oopses. I'd be like, oh, then I'd take the pill.
Yeah.
You know, it's a joint effort sometimes. I admit that. It's sometimes a joint effort, but for God's sakes, you know, don't believe the woman when they say they're on the pill.
Oh, I agree with you. And, again, it's something we tell the boys all the time.
Because a lot of women, they see these players at the club, and they're playing up like they got all this money, then come to find out they're supporting 18 different kids out there, and they got no money for your kid, and next thing you know, you're on public assistance, and you're going, now what do I do? Oh, excuse the language.
Ooh.
Oops.
Right.
But, yeah.
Well, Michelle, I appreciate your input.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
That sounds like you got the best job of them all.
You betcha, baby.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Samantha on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Samantha.
Hey. I get help with child care.
From who?
From the state of Washington.
Why?
For my daughter. Because, other words, I wouldn't be able to work.
Uh-huh. And you're in Kent, Washington, so let me guess, not married.
No, I'm not married.
Why are you having kids you can't afford to take care of?
Well, my daughter was an accident. Her dad hid my birth control from me.
Uh-huh. And so when the birth control was hidden, you had sex anyway?
He was abusive. He was forceful.
Why did you get with an abusive man?
Because I saw something that really wasn't there.
What do you mean?
I thought I saw security when I didn't, and when it got to the point that I couldn't take it anymore, I left.
Now, according to Dean, you've left something out of this conversation. You don't have one daughter. You have two children.
I have two children. My son was a teenage mistake.
Teenage mistake?
Yes.
So it sounds to me like your life, you just keep making mistakes. You have sex without birth control. You get involved with abusive men. You end up on public assistance. Your life at 28 has already been a series of misjudgments, miscalculations, and bad judgment.
No, I'm taking care of my mistakes.
Well, what have you done right so far?
I have a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I may get help with child care, but if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to work if I did not have help.
But you realize if you didn't get involved with an abusive man and have children with him, you wouldn't be in this position now.
Let me see how to put this. When I left him, I didn't know I was pregnant till a month later, and I don't believe in abortion unless there's something.
But you do believe in having sex with abusive men without birth control.
How do you stop abusive man from having sex with you? How do you stop that?
So it was rape. You were raped by your boyfriend?
You could say that, yes.
No, were you?
Yes.
So you called the police and had a rape kit done and everything? Why not?
No, I had a restraining order put on him.
But you didn't report him for rape?
No.
Uh-huh.
I should have, but
It's hard to explain. My point is, though, I get assistance with childcare, and if it wasn't for that, I would be screwed.
Well, you know what? You're screwed because of your own bad judgment. That's why you're screwed. There's no two ways about it. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.